I got to tell you, this is a great broadcast.
So the way it's going to come, as soon as Dr. Peter is ready, we're going to go off of
Good morning! Give yourselves a big round of applause for Garberfest 2016!
13,000 people.
Oh, come on. We need the energy better than that. Give yourselves a big round of applause!
No, we're starting.
Welcome to Berkshires.
Welcome to the show, Dr. Judy Campanelli.
How many of you are excited about what is about to transpire over the next 3 days? Yes? I promise you that this weekend for all of you will be an inspirational, informative, and motivating experience to allow you to go back into your practices, to your schools, and allow chiropractic to live a little bit brighter. I believe that what Scott has done with an incredible support structure around him is made a powerful shift within the consciousness of chiropractic on the planet. So give Scott and Marguerite a huge round of applause. For those of you that are not aware, IFCO is doing a landmark event this weekend, and we are streaming this across the globe to over 10, how many is that, Frank?
13,000.
13,000 people are viewing this around the world. A huge acknowledgement to Frank and Steve for being able to pull this together. Speaking of Steve, he's our first speaker. Dr. Steve Tullius has been a leader in chiropractic. He is Vice President of the International Federation of Chiropractors and Organizations, has created an amazing patient education company called Chiropractic Is. Please put your hands together. A warm welcome for Dr. Steve Tullius.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, who's excited to be here this weekend?
Woo!
I'm very excited. I appreciate the opportunity, Scott, to start this weekend off. The topic of my talk today is the promise of chiropractic. And before we get started, how many of you, is this your first time being to this event? Okay, awesome.
Right.
You guys are in store for an amazing weekend. And how many of you have been to 2 or more events? Awesome. Anybody been to all of them? All right. Awesome. So before we jump into it, on the screen, what I'd like you to do is take out your phones and put this onto Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want, tickevent.com/live, and let people know they can still register, okay, so that they can be a part of this. And so let's get started. Anybody need that again?
Yes.
tickevent.com/live. So if we're going to talk about the promise of chiropractic, we need to start by defining the term promise here. So a promise is a declaration or assurance that one will do a particular thing or that a particular thing will happen. Some of the synonyms are pledge, vow, guarantee, oath, bond, agreement. So I'd like to think about what is our vow? What is our pledge to the public? What is our promise to the public? What are we promising that will occur when we provide chiropractic to them? Okay, because this is going to be the focus of today's topic. Now, another way it's used noun is the quality of potential excellence. Synonyms include potential, ability, aptitude, capability, capacity. So, would you say chiropractic has great promise?
Yes.
Right? Would you say we're meeting that promise currently? Absolutely not, right? So hopefully through today's talk, I will have fulfilled my promise, which today is to inspire action and stimulate thought. Because with these 2 things, we can indeed meet the promise of chiropractic. I realize as the first speaker today that much of what I say you will forget, okay? Or it'll be put into notebooks and go into your closet somewhere or someplace else. So there's 2 concepts that I would like you to think about and to remember, and throughout the weekend. And the first one is this: why are you here? Why are you here today? Why did you take time out of your busy lives, away from your practice members, your families, spend lots of money to travel to this specific location today? If you're a student, why did you take the time out of your studies to come and be part of this? Okay? And think about, what are you looking to gain? What are you looking to get from this? And also, what are you hopefully looking to give in this process? And I bring that up because this is the thing that I thought of most when preparing this presentation, is why am I here? Why am I here today at this event, and what do I hope to share? And so there's really three things that I'm here to do today with this presentation and the whole weekend. And number one is support. And first off, supporting Dr. Garber, and not simply because he's an amazing individual, a caring, loving human being, but also because of his actions. You know, Scott has donated thousands of dollars, now up to $100,000 through this event back to chiropractic. Scott serves on his state board. Scott is a role model for this entire profession to look up to. And oftentimes, people doing these things are often attacked by those in the profession who are not doing those things. And so I'm here to support Scott and his actions. I'm here to support the movement and the culture that this event is creating. You see, you're more than just here. You're part of a culture and a movement within chiropractic to position chiropractic where it needs to be. Creating a culture of giving back and serving not only our practices, but also the profession. Okay, so I don't know if you realize that, but you are part of an amazing movement here. I'm here to improve, and as I hope all of you are, right? Why else would you be here today? I'm here to improve as a chiropractor, as a speaker, as a leader, and also as a husband and father. And finally, I'm here to sell ideas. You know, some will say, well, you have a company here to sell products. I'm sure some will decide to do that, but mostly I'm here to sell you on ideas. And so I'll ask you to do this, to judge those ideas based upon the merit of those ideas. Some of these ideas may challenge you. You may feel irritated or upset with some things I say. Other things mostly you'll, I'm sure, agree with. But I encourage you, if you do feel something, to ask yourself, why is it? Why is that challenging you? All growth really happens through support and challenge. We don't grow through simply support alone. So I'd like to share my journey in chiropractic, because I believe my journey is your journey. I believe many of you will find that you share many of the same experiences that I've had. You see, I came from LACC. I came from a school which laughed at subluxation, which taught a mixed medical model of chiropractic. And from that experience, I graduated and went to Parker seminars. And at Parker seminars, I heard Dr. Jim Sigafus, and he was super excited. How many of you had the opportunity to hear Dr. Sigafus? Great chiropractor, individual. I got to hear him speak, and he was excited, right? He was excited. I got spizzed up, and by the time I left that Parker seminar, I literally tried to do a cartwheel, okay? And I had no business trying to do a cartwheel. And I almost broke my hip. Okay? That evening I was soaking in the tub. It was not the most enjoyable experience. But I got fired up. I got spizzed up. From that experience, I then went on to CalJam. And at CalJam, I got even more spizzed up. I got really spizzed, really excited. But beyond that, there was one very important event that happened there. And Dr. Dennis Nikitow asked the question. He asked this question. He said, if you are performing ultrasound or other modalities in your office, why are you doing so? Is it because you have seen the studies showing that it's going to improve patient outcomes, or is it because it's increasing your insurance bill? And man, did that hit me right in the face. Because at that time, I didn't know why I was even doing those things. My chiropractor had done those things. I assumed that's what chiropractic was, and that's why I did it. And yes, I was using it as a justification because I was in insurance at the time, because I thought that's what I was supposed to do as well, that would justify the measly reimbursement for the chiropractic adjustment. So on Monday, I decided to take out my therapy bay. And I almost went bankrupt because I took out 50% of my collections without a plan. So if this is resonating with you, I encourage you to develop a plan first. However, do you know how many people asked about where did that massage after the adjustment go? Where did that E-stem go? Do you know how many people asked that question? One individual, one person. And do you know what shifted in my practice? My focus and my communication and my skill and the ability to detect and correct subluxations, because my focus was no longer clouded. From CalJam, I decided to create my own philosophy group locally in my community because I wanted to be spizzed up. I needed spiz. I was a spiz junkie at this time. How many of you are spiz junkies or reformed spiz junkies? Let's see the reformed spiz junkies. Okay, we need to start a club. I am a reformed spiz junkie. I'm proud of it. And so from that experience, I realized that I just needed that. You know, here's the thing. If we're clear on chiropractic and the value that it gives to society, we don't need to be spiz. We don't need motivation. That is inspiration enough. And so from there, I went and I started down the political route. I got lassoed into the California Chiropractic Association. And what I learned from that experience is that we cannot promote chiropractic in a subluxation-centered model when there are others in leadership within the organization that have a different objective than us. It doesn't work. It wastes time, energy, and resources, which is why I naturally gravitated to the IFCO, because we have this singularity of purpose, vision, and mission. What I also noticed is that people were violently attacking subluxation. However, because I had no formal education in chiropractic philosophy or chiropractic in general, I reacted versus responding. I got angry. How many of you have gotten angry in chiropractic? We need to let go of the anger, and we need to respond. Okay, we need to stop reacting. And when we respond, we're able to do so because we are clear, because we have the information and tools we need to respond appropriately. So I took the Academy of Chiropractic Philosophers program, taught through Sherman College of Chiropractic. It was the most important decision I made in my career because I became crystal clear in terms of what chiropractic is and what it is designed to do. But this was me. Can any of you identify with this? I was Spider-Man, but I thought I was Batman. And so our problems individually are a reflection of what's happening globally within the profession. I created this graphic because I like to analyze things. I like to analyze issues to develop solutions. And so this is a graphic I created to explain chiropractic's identity problem. At the core, at the center, our core values in chiropractic are vertebral subluxation and critical vitalism. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, so that's our core. And around that, then, we have these other things that start to creep in, such as weight loss, diet, positive mental attitude, exercise rehab. Those are in gray. They're in a gray area because they're on the border. Certainly those things provide extreme value to humanity, and I'm not saying that those things are bad in any way. However, the things in white, are things that are directly contradictory to our paradigm and start to eat away at our profession and our identity. Things like surgery, drugs, primary care, which is a huge issue now, and it's creeping into our profession under the guise of vitalistic primary care, whatever that is. Also notice overt spirituality. You know, people want a doctor, they don't want a minister. Okay. Now I'd like you to take a look at this slide, read through it. This is what comes up when you type in chiropractic is in Google. Chiropractic issues. Chiropractic is dangerous. Chiropractic is a sham. Chiropractic is safe. That's positive, right? Chiropractic is pseudoscience, is bullshit. Is it real? Is a joke. So how does that make everybody feel right now? Make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? So, again, we need to look at this objectively. Not get angry, but realize this is the public perception. And it is so based upon what I've shared already. They can't trust us. They're getting mixed messages about who we are and what we do. Obviously, there's a lot more behind that as well from the AMA and their smear campaigns and everything else. But this is the issue. This is a huge issue within the profession. And we absolutely can and will change this. So what do we have our sights on? Currently, leadership, and not including those that I associate with, have their sights on third-party reimbursement and entering primary care. Trying to gain acceptance through a back door. It's not authentic, and it's not telling the truth of who we are or what we do. We hear a lot in chiropractic about certainty. Almost every seminar you hear about, you need more certainty. You need more certainty. So what is certainty? Certainty is a firm conviction that something is the case. The problem with certainty is that you can be certain about something that is false. Okay? And so clarity is much different. It's the quality of coherence and intelligibility. It's the quality of being easy to see or hear, sharpness of image and sound. So what we need to and should desire to achieve as doctors of chiropractic is extreme clarity about our mission, extreme clarity about our vision and our purpose. And really, clarity comes from knowing who you are, what you do, and how you do it. So in thinking about this, because sometimes I forget, I've been in practice 13 years, not a super long time, but long enough to learn some things. And I forget sometimes when giving presentations that many times students are coming out confused. New doctors are very confused. I see some head shaking here. So I thought, what does it take for this foundation of success in chiropractic? What does it take to gain clarity? And so this is what I came up with. It takes with a solid foundation in our philosophy. If we don't know who we are and why we do it, then what's the purpose of everything else? Next comes the science and art. And I relied very much upon the art for many, many years, and I neglected the science. How many of you can relate to that? Because here's what I heard from the stage. I heard that we don't need science. We don't need research. We don't need all these things. Chiropractic works. Woohoo! Yeah. No? Okay. And so we need the science, because science and information will give you more clarity. Because when you talk to a medical doctor, when you talk to your patients, when you're trying to explain subluxation, you need to have extreme clarity. Otherwise, they will know energetically and through your body language that you do not. You need to develop masterful communication skills. For years, I was deathly afraid of public speaking. Deathly afraid. In high school, my voice would shake. The thought of speaking in public just drove me nuts. Okay? And it took hearing from a speaker that we had a perfect message to share. That we could be imperfect individuals, yet we have a perfect message. And we absolutely have a perfect message to share with chiropractic. So students, doctors, we need to refine our communication skills. There's many programs. Dr. Schubel has a fine program. Dr. Dill has an amazing communication and marketing program. There's tools out there, but realize you did not come into chiropractic as a communication specialist. You know, we try to be, we think because we have a Doctor of Chiropractic degree that automatically gives us expertise in all these other areas. And my vision for chiropractic is that one day, a chiropractic student does not have to be the best communicator, does not have to rely on charisma, because right now we do have personality and charisma-driven practices. We need the public to understand vertebral subluxation so intensely and understand the need that they flock, that they go to the chiropractor no matter who the individual is, assuming that they have the skills to correct it. And so at the pinnacle of this is our promise. Our promise is the opportunity, and our promise is in our results. And I'll explain that in a second. But this leads to extreme clarity in chiropractic. And your success in chiropractic is directly proportional to your clarity and your ability to communicate and deliver on your promise, or our promise. So ask yourself, if you're not experiencing the practice that you desire, if you're not having the success that you desire and that you deserve, where are you lacking in those steps? Okay, because we have something so valuable. So the promise of chiropractic is in the opportunity. It's an opportunity for optimal health. It's an opportunity for optimal healing. It's an opportunity for optimal function. We don't guarantee those things. We provide one opportunity for healing and for restoration to occur. I'm going to go into results in a second. We don't know what those results will be. But we do know that we give that body the opportunity to experience those things. Now, for the chiropractor, there's also tremendous opportunity. What other profession gives you the amazing personal satisfaction of transforming lives daily? What other profession gives you extreme financial freedom when you're providing your community these things? It gives you the opportunity for an amazing lifestyle. I work 2.5 days a week by design, okay, because I position myself as a specialist in the detection and correction of subluxation. People come to me based upon my hours and my needs. My practice serves them, but it also serves me. We get this message in chiropractic that we need to sacrifice ourselves and our families for our communities. And that it doesn't do anybody any good to do so. The promise of chiropractic is in restoration. It's in this simple cycle. And I saw a chiropractor recently attacking the simple cycle, and they wanted to show off how intelligent they were and give this new version and everything. This explains chiropractic in a nutshell. I'm not saying this is how we explain chiropractic to the public. However, what is more powerful than the restoration of normal cycles? What is more powerful than the reconnection of the life-giving and life-sustaining information from the brain to the tissue cell, and that information, the brain being able to understand its environment, to understand what's happening at the cellular level? That changes brains. That changes the function and structure of brains. Okay? What's more powerful than that? And yet you ask, can chiropractic cure appendicitis or the flu? You know, in my journey, I've gone from understanding the traditional straight model to then going towards the objective straight model. How many of you are familiar with those two separate terms? Okay, it's a lot of information to cover to go deeply into that. However, the one thing that I'll say with the objective straight model is that it moved a little too far. Because if chiropractic is not about the results, then it can become about nothing. And so we have to be very careful. You know, we don't know what those results will be. However, we expect great things to happen. And it's through simple logic. So why aren't we seeing as many miracles in chiropractic? I have a quote in miracles because we understand why it's happening. But why aren't we seeing as many of these things occur? I believe there's 3 reasons for this. The first is that we are not teaching or practicing chiropractic as a profession. I did not learn chiropractic in chiropractic college. The majority of chiropractic schools are not teaching chiropractic. If we are practicing chiropractic, we're afraid to tell people. We're afraid that our state board is going to come knocking on our door. And Dr. Matthew McCoy knows all too much about that subject. I know I was afraid, and I've been much more bold in my community because I have great clarity, and I know that the information, the science is there, and the results are there to back up what is occurring in my clinic. And finally, we aren't allowing for enough time, repetition, and momentum to occur for our practice members, for our patients. We doubt chiropractic when they are not getting well. We don't look at, okay, perhaps it's my technique, perhaps they're not on a long enough care plan, perhaps we're not checking them long enough. I remember hearing from an old-timer in chiropractic that for every month that someone has a certain issue in their health, that's the amount of time it would take to correct that, for the subluxation to be corrected. I don't have any documented evidence behind that, but I will tell you this. I was selling chiropractic short. I was not giving people the opportunity to experience full correction. And if you don't have objective measures in your office, whether it's thermography, static EMG, whatever it is, if you're not measuring neurological interference or some degree of it in the first place, 1, how do you know it's even there? And 2, how do you know it's being corrected? Okay? So this will shock you. This is a graphic from Matt McCoy's McCoy Press. And under here, you probably can't see it, so I'll read it. Under there I have highlighted, our chiropractic schools spend less than $5 million on chiropractic research. Yet, our administrative personnel often receive $700,000 to $1 million a year. There's something wrong with that equation. Less than 10% of the chiropractic profession subscribes to a peer-reviewed chiropractic research journal. So you see, we all have a part in this, and we can all start making a difference. So in order to have clarity, it needs to be simple. It needs to be clear. And so this is what I believe are the 5 facts that if we were able to successfully educate the public, that the only natural conclusion would be that they would choose chiropractic and the care and maintenance of their spine and nervous system for their lifetime. The only barrier at that point would be either extreme bias or the lack of ability to financially receive those services. So those are, number 1, the spinal cord is located in the spine. It's your nervous system's information highway. Your nervous system controls and coordinates every part of your body. Misalignments of your spine can distort nerve messages, a wide range of health problems. Misalignments of the spine are known as subluxations and will negatively affect your health, function, and well-being. And finally, maintaining the health of your spine and nervous system should be a regular part of a healthy lifestyle and can dramatically improve your quality of life. Do you guys disagree with any of those statements? Are any of those statements not scientifically accurate or philosophically accurate? So that's the quick version. Okay, I thought since we have lots of students here, I thought I'd give you a little bit more of the process that I've taken people through over the years to help them understand this. And I will share this slide with you if you're interested later on. So in chiropractic, we go from the general to the specific. And we start with this awareness that the body is self-healing. And also that every 7 years, that the body recreates itself. Except for what? The brain and spinal cord, the nervous system, right? Which is a huge point to get across to people. Optimal health is our natural, normal state. The majority of the world understands that. They agree with you already. It's a matter of reconnecting them to what they already know. So the body is designed for optimal expression of life. This is a great time to bring in innate intelligence, educated intelligence, conversation with them. So from there we go to the specific, and that is that the nervous system is the primary system responsible for our optimal health, function, and well-being. And this is where I think we really need to focus. A lot of our energy and efforts is on the autonomic nervous system. Dr. Knowles is going to talk about the cerebrospinal fluid and how important that is later on today, and how the subluxation is impacting that as well. However, we take them through this journey and then into principles, cause and effect, right? These chiropractic principles, these timeless principles. If we are not experiencing our optimal health and function, then there must be a cause, something that took us out of that natural normal state. And it's a great time to bring into the conversation limitations of matter. Limitations of matter is a huge, huge point that we need to educate our practice members on. Because it is not our responsibility to improve their matter. Chiropractic addresses the missing link, that connection between the force and the matter. And so with that structure affects function, this is where vertebral subluxation comes into the conversation. And then the specific adjustment is the correction of that. And naturally, through this process of logic, deduction, and scientific information, it will lead to the restoration of normal cycles through time, repetition, and effort. And that 7-year principle and momentum, it leads to our result. And this is our result. Optimal expression of life, health, function, and well-being. When people come to my talks, in my practice, I focus on extreme neurodevelopmental issues, autism, epilepsy, all these things. And I used to think, okay, I don't want to focus on conditions. I don't want to focus on these things. When people come to my talk, they understand I'm not looking to treat seizures. I'm not looking to treat or cure autism. I'm looking to restore optimal function of the nervous system by correcting subluxations. When you've taken people through this process and you ask these questions, they will come up with the chiropractic answer for it. What causes vertebral subluxation? How common is subluxation? What do you think people say when you take them through this process, when you ask them how common is subluxation? They all say, very common. And it is very common. I think as a profession, we have been afraid to tell people how common subluxation is. We've been afraid to tell them. Because at this point, the public has believed that we tell everybody that everybody is subluxated. And so here's the thing. How many people out there are subluxated? Pretty much close to everybody, to some degree, unless they've been under proper chiropractic care. Now, it comes down to this, what I refer to as degrees of subluxation. How long is that subluxation? Is that subluxation causing major interference to that information cycle? Or is it maybe a small dimmer switch? It's just the beginnings of that dis-ease and that dysfunction in their body. So asking them next, when is the optimal time for people to have their spine and nervous systems checked? What do you think they say? Yeah, birth, early on. And how often throughout a lifetime? I think a lot of times in chiropractic, we have told people what they have to do instead of giving them the information so that they can make an educated choice about their health care and their families. And so I tell people, once they come into the office, I say, we're going to start, this is the corrective care program I recommend. At some point, you're going to get to a place where you're holding, you're stable, and then at that point, you're going to have the opportunity to choose whether you come in. Some people want to continue to get checked once a week. I get checked once a week. I check my family once a week. Some people want to choose to come in every other week, maybe once a month. Some people once a quarter. Some people will never come back again until there's a problem. So in my office, that's your choice. That's up to you. And people respect that, and most people will choose, once they've experienced chiropractic and the changes within their bodies and their health and lives, will choose to be checked on a regular basis. So we need to have this future vision. We need to have a 50, 100-year vision in chiropractic instead of reacting. We keep reacting in chiropractic. We keep reacting to what the cartel is doing. We keep reacting to those people instead of developing a clear vision and purpose for our profession. And this is where things change. This is where we begin to take control of our profession, our objective, our mission, and not even necessarily attack what others are doing, but position the profession in a place where the merit of our position is so attractive to the public and to practitioners and students that they come to us. Because I'm done attacking those things. There's no value in it, and we go nowhere. So we need to build a better ship. And I believe this is how we do it. And the objectives of that are simply we need to differentiate ourselves. We need to let the public know that we detect and correct vertebral subluxation. I believe that should be our primary message. Until they understand that message, I believe we should not be focusing on anything else. And we need to let them know that not all chiropractors adjust vertebral subluxation. There's specific training, there's specific education that is involved, and at this point in our history, unfortunately, not every chiropractor receives that. I certainly did not. I'm sure many of you have not or did not and are working towards that. We need to increase our utilization. It's principle 33, demand and supply. If there is no demand for what we are doing, then why increase the supply? We keep focusing on increasing the supply of chiropractors without focusing on increasing the demand. And our side of the profession has no public education awareness campaign. Our profession does have the F4CP, which is not a chiropractic vertebral subluxation centered education campaign. In fact, I don't know if they even mention it. We need to increase our research. We need to show people the results, that chiropractic improves quality of life and neurophysiological function. And that's happening. Every day we see more and more research. There's great research coming out of the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. Heidi's work there. There's fantastic work coming out. However, we need more. Would you guys agree that we need more scientific data supporting and showing what we do? And we need to gain control of our educational system and licensure. And right now, as part of the IFCO, that is a major objective, especially the licensure part, making sure that our vision of chiropractic is represented on our state boards and in our colleges. So this is how it's going to happen. I think primarily we need to focus on the creation of a public awareness campaign. We need to support that as individual doctors and students, because without your support, we cannot do it. We need to support the Foundation for Vertebral Subluxation, the ICPA, and as I said, the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. These are the three groups in chiropractic that are doing that work and research that we need so desperately. We need to join congruent state, national, and international associations, not just joining just because they have chiropractic in their name, but because they're congruent with the values that we're talking about here today and this weekend. We need to shift the financial resources to those congruent colleges, organizations, vendors supporting such as Chiro Futures, Vitalogics, who is here, and I have Vitalogics in my practice and love it. We need to support those groups that are supporting us and not supporting those groups who are supporting drugs and chiropractic. Those vendors who show up at any event, they show up to get your resources, and then they turn around and show up at an event that is directly contradictory to your values and our values. And finally, we need a new accrediting body. We need new testing, colleges, and state board involvement. Now, this is a lot of work. However, it can and is being done. Dr. Knowles, together, they have shifted chiropractic in Colorado and doing a fantastic job of shifting what they were seeing. They decided to take action. So these are some of the organizations that I support. the IFCO, the foundation, ICPA, we need to create this. This is actively being talked about and designed in preliminary phases. So please, when it comes out, think about how important your future is, chiropractic's future, and how you can be a part of this. If you'd like some of the that education journey that I mentioned, you can sign up for my newsletter at chiropracticis.com/BPE, and we'll also share these graphics and poster with you for web quality for your websites or social media. Sure. Feel free to connect with me this weekend. As I said, I'm here for support, and that includes any and all of you who are in alignment with this vision and this weekend. So I'm always available, either here or through Facebook. Send me a message. So we're back to where we started, except slightly different. At first, I asked you why you are here. And hopefully, by this point, you understand that you are here because you were born to be here. You were born to shift this planet, to see the change that chiropractic can have in the world, in your practices, individually with each practice member, but to shift the evolution and the consciousness of this planet through the detection and correction of subluxation. You're here to join this movement and to be a part and support people, individuals, and groups like this event here. And so I hope that you, again, will have left with two things today. That I've caused you to think a little bit, and hopefully that inspired you to act. Thank you very much.
Dr. Steve Tullius.
Wow. Holy smokes. I got to tell you, this
Big round of applause, Dr. Tullius.
is working just fine. I got to tell you, Frank, we've got people from all around the world. I think
Steve, thank you for your leadership, your vision, and Steve, thank you for all the energy of allowing this world to be subluxation free. Big round of applause again for Dr. Stephen Tullius.
Steve Tullius just rocked it, man. That was a phenomenal presentation. LAC